Sup, Holmes?
Still waiting for your next Monkey Island game. You think it'll ever happen?
Well, I would love to make another Monkey Island. I absolutely would love to do that. That would be my absolute dream job to do. But Disney owns the IP. They own Monkey Island. They're not interested in selling it, and it is something that I would want to own again before I made a new one. Not because I want to go make a bunch of money off it or anything, but I want complete control over it because I kind of have in my head that game I would want to make. And I mean, I wrote a whole big thing on my blog about, if I made another Monkey Island, and I kind of talked about what I'd want to do. But I think I could only do that, if I had complete control over it. I don't think I could do it if there was some larger, corporate entity, running everything by their marketing department and their branding department and all this other stuff. We didn't have that at Lucasfilm. We were given this unprecedented, amazing freedom to just build whatever we wanted. There was no marketing department. There were no focus tests. We did a lot of play testing, but we didn't do any focus testing, right? And I think that's where a lot of that really neat stuff can kind of come from. And if I was going to make a Monkey Island 3, I would just I want to make it the way I want to make it.
Yeah, obviously, so many eyes would be on that, and your expectation of what you could do with it would be pretty high, and what everyone else's expectations would be really high too. And if that were to be soured at all by a corporate umbrella hanging over your head, keeping you from being able to act as creatively as you wanted to, that'd probably be better than not. That would probably be worse than, well, you know what I mean. That wouldn't be good.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I'm going to make a Monkey Island 3, I want to be the person that fucks it up, right? I want to be the person that is solely responsible for Monkey Island 3 stinking, right? Because I don't mind failing when I believe in what I was doing, right? If you have conviction about what you're doing, people can criticize your work, and it doesn't matter because you're going, you know what? This is what I wanted to make. This was my vision. This is what I wanted to make. And if you don't like it, you don't like it, and I'm okay with that. The place you don't want to fail is when your vision has been compromised, when you've built something and external people are kind of making you do things, and maybe some of the things are good, but maybe some of the things aren't good. Then when you fail at it, you're like, oh, I wish I could have done what I want, and that conviction is gone in some ways.
Sure.
So yeah, so if I'm going to make a Monkey Island 3, I want to be the one that fucks it up.
Right, right. The regret you would have from making it with people you shouldn't have partnered with because they controlled it would be much worse than the regret of, well, I tried my best and didn't turn out as good as I wanted it to be, but at least I tried on my own terms. And leaving a mark of who you are with that game, that's got to happen. That's just like, there's things that have to happen. And you making another Monkey Island is one of them. Gosh darn it.
Maniac Mansion and Monkey Island, they were not, giant sellers when they came out.
Uh-huh. And the legacy just lasts. Like, the Monkey Island re-releases came out not that long ago on consoles, and my understanding is they did pretty well.
Yeah, I think they did really well. I mean, I think a lot of people, their exposure to Monkey Island is actually through those remakes. It's not necessarily, through the original ones. That may have been, they may have heard about Monkey Island or their friends talked about it, but this was the moment that they got to experience the game was through those remakes. So yeah, I mean, I think it was really great that LucasArts decided to do those.
Sure, absolutely. Last new Monkey Island fan I met, one of my friends, she is a cultural anthropologist, sort of like a modification of psychology. She fell in love with a Spaniard in an archaeological dig, and he found Monkey Island right after that, and they played it together, like the original one. They found it on the computer, and he just says it's the best game. He doesn't know when it came out. He didn't pay attention. For all he knows, it just is a new game. Not the remake, the original one. Totally with it. Yeah. Still works today. Still, it wasn't like stuck in that time. No matter when you play it, if you have pirates, at least it's a little bit. And I've never been on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride myself. When I saw the Pirates of the Caribbean movie, It's like, why are they ripping off Monkey Island? So,
Y-
like,
Yeah, there is something a little uncanny about that. But I mean, I don't know that they ripped off Monkey Island. People ask me that. It's like, did they rip off Monkey Island? It's like, well, I kind of ripped off the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, so I don't really think that you can say that they necessarily ripped off Monkey Island. And there certainly are some things in that movie that raise my eyebrow. When he's paddling the coffin through the swamp in the movie.
yeah,
It's like, yeah,
uh-huh.
that was kind of in Monkey Island too. I mean, yeah, maybe they thought of that independently. All possible, but
And there just happens to be ghost pirates in it. And yeah,
yeah. I
huh.
mean, what do you do, right? I mean, it's
Would have been nice to get a thank you, I guess, at the very least. Yeah. Oh well, not gonna get bitter.